Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can cut this beautiful stylish bustier. So if it's something you would love to learn, please make sure to watch the end of the video, like, share and subscribe. And if you are new on my channel, do where to subscribe. Subscription is totally free, and most importantly, turn on the notification bell so you can be notified anytime we drop new video. So without further ado, let's jump right into the main video. So from the top of the paper here is my starting point and my shoulder line as well. So I'm going to come down from the top of the paper to mark my bust point. From my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. I also come down to mark my under bust, which is 13. I'll mark my waist point, which is 16 inches. Then I'll mark the blouse length. Then I'll go ahead and extend all these points across. So I'll label them appropriately. This is my bust point, my under bust, my waist point, and my top length or my blouse length. So I'll come to the shoulder line, divide my shoulder by 2. My shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm going to mark it right here. Then at that point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches. Then I'll connect from my shoulder slope into the neck width like this. Then I'm going to come down to mark my neck depth of 3 inches, 3 by 3, and I'm going to connect with my curve rule like so. Then the next thing is to mark my arm length. How to get your arm length: divide your bust by 6, then add 1.5 inches, and I got 7. I'm going to mark the 7 here. Then I'm going to extend that line across this way. Then I'm going to mark what I have on my shoulder line here to get a straight line. I'm going to mark the 7.5 here. Then I'm going to connect from the shoulder slope all the way to that point we just marked. So this now become our chest line. I'm going to come to this arm length here and divide it into 2 equal halves to get the midpoint. The midpoint of 7 is 3.5. Then I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4. So at the midpoint of this line here, I'm going to go in by half an inch. Then I'll connect all the way to the chest line to form our armhole. The next thing is to mark out our dart, and to do that we are going to divide our nipple to nipple measurement by 2. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. I'm going to mark the 3.5 on all these lines. I'll mark the 3.5 all the way down, and I'm going to connect the point together with a straight line. So on the under bust line, I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides of this line. But if you have a big bust, you can mark 1 inch or 1.5 inch at the center, and then on the other side you mark 2 inch. So from the bust line, I'm going to come down by half an inch. Then I'll use my curve rule to just connect the 2 points together. Then I'm going to come up from the top length by 2 inches. I'm going to come up by 2 inches here. Then I'm going to connect my dart all the way to that point. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to connect from here to the midpoint of our armhole like this. I'll blend this point here so it's not too sharp. Then we are going to tighten our bust here. I'm going to mark ½ inch on both sides of this line here. Then I'm going to connect back into the line. So that 1 inch we took here, we're going to replace it so we don't have any shortage when we are sewing. I'll mark the 1 inch here and extend this line to the 1 inch this way. So we'll connect our armhole. I'll connect all the way to the chest line this way. The next thing is to impute our round body measurement. We've already marked our bust measurement. I'm going to add 1 inch for ease, and then the 1 inch we took for our dart there. I'm going to come to the under bust line, divide my under bust by 4. Then I'll add the 2 inch we took for that and add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the waistline. I'll divide my waistline by 4, replace the dart, and then add my sewing allowance as well. Then I'll come to the hip line, divide my hip by 4. I'll mark it right on the hip line, then add my sewing allowance. I'll go ahead and connect all these points together. I'll go ahead and outline the lines to make it more visible for us to see. I'll also trace it on the other side so that we can work on that effect we have at the base of the top. So I've already traced. So this is what we have. I'm going to come down from the waistline by 3 inches. Then from the side here, I'm going to go up by ½ inch and then connect from that point to meet this point this way. Then on the other side, I'm going to go up by 1/2 inch as well. Let me cut this out so we'll know where our top is stopping. I'll connect all the way to the 1/2 inch as well. So when you are doing this, make sure to use your pencil so that you can clean if you are not satisfied with the line. So this is basically it for that effect. I will just cut this out just so we can work on the back pattern. It is a very simple tutorial. I forgot to mention earlier, when you are drafting this, your pattern paper, the front pattern paper must be on fold because of that effect we have in front of the blouse. Make sure your front pattern paper is on fold this way for you to get that effect we have on the blouse. So this is the front pattern. You can see how it is. I'm going to keep this aside just so we can work on the back pattern. So I've already gone ahead to mark out the necessary lines, my zipper allowance of 1 inch, my bust point, my waistline, and my top length. So for the back neck depth, I came down by 1 inch and I connected back into the zipper allowance. Then I'm going to mark 3.5 inches for my darts here, just the way we did on the front pattern. I'll mark it all the way down and then connect the point with a straight line. At this point, we are basically repeating what we did on the front pattern. Then on the waistline, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of that line. Then from the chest line, I'm going to come down by 1/2 inch. Then I'll connect all the way to the 1/2 inch. From the top length, I'm going to come up by 2 inches, just the way we did on the front pattern, and then connect our darts all the way to that point as well. If you want to have that princess dart at the back as well, you just connect your darts line all the way to the midpoint of your armhole this way. You blend this point so it is not too sharp. Then I'm going to go out by 1/2 inch here so we don't have any shortage when we are sewing. I'll connect the line all the way to the 1/2 inch. Then I'll reconnect my armhole this way. The next thing is to impute our round body measurement. We've already marked our bust. I'll add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the waistline, bend my waist by 4. I'll replace the dart and add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the hip line. I'm going to mark my hip line divided by 4, my hip measurement divided by 4, add my sewing allowance, then connect the line. I'll come to the zipper allowance here. I'm going to mark 1/2 inch and connect it back. This is to prevent any form of bulginess at the back of the blouse. We are going to cut this area out. We always do this whenever we are making a dress that has a zipper. So the next thing, I'm going to come up by 1/2 inch here from the side and reconnect it back to the line this way to give it a nice curve. And that is basically it for the back pattern. I'll go ahead and outline my line so that it's more visible for us to see. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So this is the back pattern and we have the front pattern here. This is, let me label it so we don't get confused or mix the paper up. So we've come to the end of today's tutorial. Please, if you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe before you go. Like, share and comment. Thank you so much and see you in my next video.